12 things you do because of high-functioning anxiety. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zen Zone Health. Today we're diving deep into the often misunderstood world of high-functioning anxiety. We're talking about those things you might be doing every day that you didn't realize were directly related to anxiety. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Taking the blame for slow replies. You know the scenario. Someone doesn't text you back right away and your mind starts to spiral. You instantly assume you've done something wrong, said something weird, or that they're just straight up ignoring you. Anxiety loves to warp our perception and blow things out of proportion. It feeds on those little seeds of doubt, convincing us that a delayed text is a personal attack. This overthinking can lead to feelings of guilt and self-blame, even when you've done absolutely nothing wrong. People get busy, phones die, and sometimes messages slip our minds. Instead of letting your anxiety run wild, take a deep breath, remind yourself that you're not a mind reader, and try to shift your focus to something more positive.
Chapter 2. Declining invites, even when you want to go. Picture this. You get invited to a party, a concert, maybe just a casual hangout with friends. But instead of feeling excited, a wave of dread washes over you. You really, truly want to go, but the thought of socializing, of being on, is just completely overwhelming. So, you politely decline the invitation, offering up a convenient excuse about being busy or tired. Part of you might feel relieved, but there's also this pang of disappointment, this feeling of missing out on something that could have been fun. High-functioning anxiety can be a real party pooper. Don't let your fear hold you back from creating memories and deepening relationships.
Chapter 3. Obsessing over the totally trivial. We all have those moments where we overthink things, but with high-functioning anxiety, it's like that overthinking dial gets cranked up to 11. A fleeting glance from a stranger, a slightly offhand comment from a co-worker. These seemingly insignificant events can become major sources of stress and rumination. You find yourself replaying the interaction over and over again in your mind, analyzing every detail, every word, every facial expression. This obsessive thinking can be utterly exhausting, draining your mental energy and making it difficult to focus on anything else. Chapter 4. The late night, early morning struggle. Remember that peaceful image of sleep I just described? Yeah, that's probably not happening if you have high-functioning anxiety. As soon as your head hits the pillow, your mind decides it's the perfect time to replay every worry, every to-do list item, every embarrassing moment from the past decade. You toss and turn, desperately trying to quiet the incessant chatter in your mind. And just when you finally drift off, your alarm clock decides to unleash its shrill cry upon the world. You wake up feeling groggy, irritable, and already mentally exhausted. The day hasn't even begun, and you're already running on fumes. Chapter 5. Always expecting the absolute worst. Imagine this. You're running a few minutes late for a meeting. A perfectly normal, everyday occurrence, right? But for someone with high-functioning anxiety, this minor inconvenience can quickly spiral into a full-blown catastrophe. Your mind starts racing, conjuring up worst-case scenarios. My boss is going to think I'm unreliable. Anxiety loves to play the what-if game, and it's always rooting for the most disastrous outcome possible. This constant anticipation of doom can be incredibly draining, leading to feelings of helplessness and overwhelm. Chapter 6. The can't get out of bed. Struggle is real. You wake up, after another restless night no doubt, and immediately the weight of the day crashes down upon you. It's not just physical tiredness, it's a deep, soul-crushing exhaustion that seems to seep into your very bones. You know you have responsibilities, deadlines, and people counting on you, but the thought of facing the day feels utterly insurmountable. So you stay under the covers, seeking solace in the familiar comfort of your blankets. The world outside can wait, you tell yourself. But those 5 minutes often turn into 10, then 20, then an hour or more.
Chapter 7. New people? No, thank you. Meeting new people can be an exciting, nerve-wracking experience for anyone. But for someone with high-functioning anxiety, it can feel like navigating a minefield of social terrors. Every interaction is a performance, a chance to be judged, found wanting, and ultimately rejected. Your mind races with anxious thoughts. What if they think I'm boring? What if I say something stupid? What if they can see how awkward and uncomfortable I am? Parties, networking events, even casual gatherings with acquaintances become sources of dread rather than delight. You might find yourself making excuses to avoid social situations altogether, retreating into your comfort zone where the familiar feels safe and predictable.
Chapter 8. The never-ending conversation replay. It's happened to all of us, that awkward moment when you realize you've put your foot in your mouth. But for someone with high-functioning anxiety, these social missteps can become magnified 1,000-fold. You lie awake at night, replaying the conversation in your head, dissecting every word, every inflection, every facial expression. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I offend them? Do they think I'm an idiot? The anxiety feeds on these perceived blunders, turning them into major social disasters. You might even avoid the person altogether, too afraid to face the potential fallout from your imagined transgression. Presentations, job interviews, even casual interactions with strangers can become fodder for the anxiety monster.
Chapter 9. Their concern, just more to worry about. You know that feeling when someone close to you expresses concern about your well-being? It's supposed to be a comforting, supportive gesture, but for someone with high-functioning anxiety, it can feel like gasoline on an already raging fire. Suddenly, you're not just anxious, you're anxious about being anxious. You start to overanalyze their words, their tone, their body language. Their concern, however well-intentioned, becomes just another thing to worry about, another layer of self-doubt and insecurity to unravel.
Chapter 10. The future. Absolutely terrifying. The future. It's a vast, unknown expanse full of possibilities. For some, it's a source of excitement, a blank canvas upon which to paint their dreams. But for someone with high-functioning anxiety, the future can feel like a looming threat, a minefield of potential disasters waiting to explode. This constant fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, making it difficult to make plans, set goals, or even imagine a future that feels safe and secure.
Chapter 11. The comparison game is strong and unfair. In the age of social media, it's easier than ever to fall into the trap of comparison. You scroll through your feeds, bombarded with images of perfect lives, perfect bodies, and perfect accomplishments. And even though you know, logically, that social media is a curated highlight reel, it's hard not to feel a pang of envy, a sense that you're somehow falling behind. For someone with high-functioning anxiety, this comparison game can be brutal. You start to measure your worth against others, fixating on their successes while minimizing your own. This constant comparison can lead to feelings of inferiority, self-doubt, and a nagging sense that you're not good enough.
Chapter 12. Mistakes. Cue the self-flagellation. Everyone makes mistakes. It's a natural part of being human, but for someone with high-functioning anxiety, mistakes aren't just learning opportunities, they're catastrophic events that confirm their deepest fears of inadequacy. You beat yourself up mercilessly, replaying the mistake over and over again in your head. The anxiety magnifies the mistake, turning it into a defining moment, proof positive that you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. This self-criticism can be incredibly damaging, eroding your self-esteem and making it even harder to bounce back from setbacks.
Outro: finding peace with high-functioning anxiety. Thank you for watching Zen Zone Health. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step towards understanding and supporting those with high-functioning anxiety. See you in the next video.